So let's dive into my ranking of Harry Potter series. I am actually about to start reread of the full series. So yeah, I kind of want to rank them and see uh, how my um, current reread will change my opinion if there's anything that changes. So first up, two main issues I am ranking the books about. First of all, do I enjoy the story? And second of all, do I want to pick it up? There are years mainly where I feel like I want to reread all entire Harry Potter series, but there are years when I just feel, oh, I'm fine with reading one or two books. So which book do I see myself picking up the most, or even revisiting after I read entire series? Um, so let's dive into it. My least favorite Harry Potter book is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I just cannot put it higher. I find that I would like to reread this one the least. This is actually the one I am going to reread now. But if we go on its own, I just don't feel it as much. I do enjoy aspects of it, and when I read it, I don't want to stop. But it is not, the book which I would pick up for. This is not a book which I would pick up like very often. So that's why it's number seven. It wasn't my first Harry Potter book either, so yeah. You know what was my first Harry Potter book? Number six, which is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Now, I initially planned or putting it the lowest, but I decided that, well, actually, it should be next to lowest. And the reason for it is I would like to read this less than um, than I would like to read Philosopher's Stone. However, the reason for it is I've read this one quite a lot over the years, while I haven't read Philosopher's Stone enough times, like not even half the amount of times I've read this, it being short and quite enjoyable for me. So that's why I put it at number six and I put it over Philosopher's Stone. Actually, if we go with technical, critical aspects of it, I do actually feel this is a better book. I do enjoy mystery of it more than I enjoy the Philosopher's Stone. I do like, the atmosphere of the Chamber of Secrets being open and creature hidden in the Chamber of Secrets, and then Harry discovering things about himself. I feel like this is underrated book in Harry Potter community, and that's why I actually protest over similar lists with putting this as not my least favorite one, but next to the least favorite one. And don't expect Order of the Phoenix to be as low as usual as well. Spoiler. So, which is next? So my number five book is actually it was my current Harry Potter read until I decided to start the reread. Um, I just felt like I want to read all the books more at this time than just finish this one, and I will finish it. Just I will start over with it, and it's not the book that I haven't read before. Why I haven't read it? I just had other things I had to think about. So I just got into watching TV shows and films, and at this point I just don't feel like I want to finish it. So that may be the reason why I put it that low, but by no means I feel it is as weak as the placing of it may, um, you know, as it may uh, show. I mean, it is. It is. I don't put it as low because I don't enjoy things about this book. I put it as low because there is something about the four other books in the series which I just want to revisit more. and the book is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Again, as I said, I came halfway through, and it is enjoyable book. When thinking about the pacing and those kind of issues, I feel like this is much better than Order of the Phoenix, which I actually put higher than that, obviously, but I just don't know if I will want to revisit it as often. But actually, I do see myself putting this one a bit higher in the future. But mix of of the actual thing, actual opinions about this book and my slump while rereading this one now, I feel I just don't want to revisit it as much. And I feel this is actually. I am conflicted because there are things about it which I like the most from the entire series, but there are things about it just turn me off and don't want me to reread it. But actually, this is one of the books which I reread year after year for a time. So I actually may have read it a bit too much, so this doesn't feel as fresh. But yeah, it is not my least favorite one, and I do see myself putting it a bit higher. Actually, it was a bit higher, but this feels like the right place for it now. And speaking of which, actually, we have Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix at my number 4 spot. I put it higher over. I put it over Half-Blood Prince, although I do actually feel that there's like with actual plot and story, Half-Blood Prince might be over it. However, I mean, for a while I actually put this one as my number 2, and there was a point when I actually considered this one my favorite. But thinking now, I actually would have to. Well, actually, looking at the story and aspects of this, yes, this is my number 2. But the reason why I just had to drop it down a bit, there was another book which I wanted to make. I felt I want to revisit it more often, and um, actually, um, actually, I have to say, the first half of it, first especially 100 pages, those are slow. I Whenever I start rereading this book, I would actually pinpoint exact chapters, um, like the stuff between. I do like the first 2 chapters, especially the first one. It's one of my favorite chapters. But then, ever since, let's say, Order of the Phoenix, chapter 5, until chapter 10, is a part of the book that I just don't enjoy as much. But I would say that everything from the chapter Hagrid's Tale onwards is perfect. So the first half of the book, there is a bit of this um, staleness for me, and I don't and dullness when it comes to the book. Even it is not really interesting for me. But the second half of it really picks up, and actually the final battle from like final finale of this book is my favorite finale from all the Harry Potter series, and it is an awesome book. And why I put it over Half Blood Prince, and I actually could see Half Blood Prince beating this one on at this spot, but I just think that I would like to read this one more, and it being also the first Harry Potter book I had to wait for. It has nostalgia elements for me. So, and it introduces some characters that I really like Luna Lovegood, Tonks, and Bellatrix Lestrange. So that there's that as well. But yeah, I definitely don't think this is a perfect book. That's why I don't feel comfortable putting it in my top 10, top 3, but it is still underrated book, which I feel it deserves a better spot than like the last one or next to last one. So yeah, number 4. Okay, so if you have read Harry Potter series, you know which 3 books are to follow. So my number 3 spot is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is the book 3 of the series as well. Actually, this is the book I put higher. Wanted to put in my top 3, so that's why I drew put all the things down. Reason for it is I do like the story of it. Finale, like after Order of the Phoenix, this is my second favorite finale. I do enjoy the parts with Time Turner. I do understand the problems of it though, but still, it is a fun part of the book. I do actually feel like I want to reread this one more in last couple of months. So that is the main reason why I put it higher. But I do actually see myself putting Half-Blood Prince higher than this one at some point. But you know, this is the shortest book in my top 3, so you know it's nice. I do see myself picking it up more often because of that. Because yeah, I just want to read Harry Potter, but I don't want to read massive tomes. Yeah, let's have this one because I do like the story and I do like the size of the book as well. So it is definitely the best of the first 3. No arguing for it. I do like how I do like the twists in this book, and I do like how it introduces, reveals new stuff about the past of Harry's parents, and it adds to mythology of the characters. And yeah, it is quite cool book as well. So my number 2 spot was actually my number 1 for a long time, but I was thinking about it, and actually my number 1 or number 2, I could switch them, but I will actually have to say that there is one particular reason or 2 particular reasons why I put my number 2 at number 2 instead of number 1. But yeah, my number 2 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. When it comes to the story, this is my favorite one. I don't think like there's much dullness. I do enjoy the parts in the woods when they are camping, which is actually something that a lot of people complain about. I don't. I like this. And the isolation elements of it, I do like as well. The final battle, it's a bit anticlimactic, but still, it's quite fine. So why am I putting this under, not on my number 1? Because I do feel like this is pretty much perfect Harry Potter book, apart from the fact that it doesn't feature Hogwarts as much. I feel that if this had Hogwarts in it more than just in the finale, I would put it in number 1. But I understand why it doesn't, and I actually do like the fact that it doesn't feature Hogwarts as much, because it's the break from the rest of the series. But actually, the part of fun of reading Harry Potter is going back to Hogwarts. And my number 1 book, which if you have read the series, you obviously know it is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. With Goblet of Fire, I was thinking, and it is pretty damn perfect. There are plot holes about it, but who cares? I do see myself picking this one up every year. And there's another thing which I don't why I put this one over Deathly Hallows. With Deathly Hallows, I enjoy it a lot. I haven't read this one, the Deathly Hallows, in years. So obviously, I can go longer without reading Deathly Hallows than reading Goblet of Fire. And Goblet of Fire has Hogwarts, which added bonus is the fact that I can transfer myself to Hogwarts, and it introduces so many other elements and explore like it makes the world of Harry Potter richer. I feel definitely those two books are the best of the series. Um, this book moves the series in new direction. It includes both, yeah, like elements of the first three books, which are more childlike and innocent, and then more darker aspects of the later three books. Also, I do really, yeah, it explores new grounds. It showcases us to magic outside of Hogwarts, which actually does is a part why I enjoy Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows as much as I do, because it does explore ancient magic. So this is those two stories are actually, I would say, my favorite two, and actually I don't see myself putting another book in my top two than those two. I might flip Deathly Hallows with Goblet of Fire, but I don't see. I mean, I do feel like those two are the best Harry Potter books of them all, and those are the two Harry Potter books that appeal to me the most. Order of the Phoenix, I could put it higher, I could put it lower. Half-Blood Prince, I could definitely put this one higher actually. Talking about it now, I pretty much could just flip, like exchange definitely like the Half-Blood Prince with Order of the Phoenix and put Half-Blood Prince at number 4. But who cares? So I am curious to see if anything, because I didn't actually read entire series from start to finish in a while. I did read individual books, so I am curious to see how it will affect my ranking. And I actually want to do what I want to do is make another video after I'm done with the full series, and we will see which book I will put higher. So yeah, that's what I can say now, and that's my ranking. Which is your favorite Harry Potter book? Is it also Goblet of Fire? Because this is one very popular one, but also I do see a lot of people putting Deathly Hallows as their favorite ones. I obviously did at some point, so yeah, I get it. So yeah, tell me your favorite Harry Potter book in the comments below, and see ya.